Good morning everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the topic requirements engineering and requirements definition. Let's look into the agenda quickly. Requirements engineering definition, types of requirements, non-functional and functional requirements, problem with our requirement practices, requirements engineering task, and summary. So, what do you mean by requirements engineering? The broad spectrum of tasks and techniques that lead to an understanding of requirements is called requirements engineering. The process of establishing the service that the customer requires from a system and constraints under which it operates and is developed. Next is types of requirements. There are two types of requirements. One is user requirements and another one is system requirements. User requirement is a statement in natural language plus diagram of service which the system provides and its operational constraints written for the customers. For example, user interface and natural language extra. And in the case of system requirement, it's a structured document setting out detailed description of the system's function, service, and operational constraint. For example, general sales report, customer data, etc. Next is functional and non-functional requirements. Functional requirement is nothing but statements of services the system should provide, how the system should react to a particular input. And non-functional requirement means constraint on the service or function offered by the system, such as timing constraint on the development process, standard, etc. Domain requirements means constraint on the system from the domain operation. Next, we look into the problem with our requirement practices. First one is trouble in understanding the requirements. If there is a problem in understanding the requirement, then the developers cannot fulfill their requirements made by the customers. So the second thing is often record uh, requirement in disordered manner. Third, spend far too little time verifying what we do record. And the fourth one is fail to establish a solid foundation of the system or software that the user want to build. Now let's look into the solution of requirements engineering problems. So there is 7 engineering tasks, requirements engineering tasks. First one is inception, next elicitation, third elaboration, a fourth one is negotiation, a fifth specification, sixth one is validation, and the last one is requirements management. So these 7 steps are done one after the other in an order from top to bottom, so that the solution can be obtained uh, from the requirements engineering. So the first step of the requirement analysis process is inception. In this phase, the requirements engineer may ask a set of questions to understand the problem and evaluate a proper solution. Next is elicitation. Elicitation means to find the requirements from anybody. The requirements are difficult because the following problems occur in elicitation. Problem of scope. The customer give unnecessary technical details rather than clarify the overall system objective. And the second thing is a problem of understanding. Poor understanding between the customer and developer regarding various aspects of the project like capability limitation of the computing environment. And the next is problem of volatility. In this problem, the requirements changes from the time to time, and it is difficult while developing the project. Next one is elaboration. Elaboration is nothing but the information taken from the user uh, during the inception and elaboration are expanded and refined in elaboration. Its main task is developing pure model of software using the functions, features and constraints of software. Next one is negotiation, and in negotiation task, a software engineer decides how will the project be achieved with limited business resources, to create rough guesses of development and assess the impact of the requirement on the project uh, cost and delivery time. Next is specification. In specification task, the requirement engineer constructed a final product in the form of a software requirement specification, and in this task formalize the requirement of proposed system such as informative, functional and behavioral, and the requirements are formalized in both general graphical and textual format. Next one is validation. Validation is nothing but the work product produced as a result of the requirements engineering are assessed for quality. The specification is examined to ensure that all software requirements have been stated unambiguously. Inconsistencies, omissions, and errors have been detected and corrected. Um, the work product conform to a standard established for the process, the project, and the product. The formal technical review serves as the primary requirement validation mechanism. Members include software engineers, customer, users, and other stakeholders. So the last step is requirements management. Performs a set of activities to identify, control, and track requirements and change to the requirements at any time of the project needs. Each requirement is assigned as a unique identifier. A requirement are then places into one or more traceable tables. These tables may stored in a database that relate features, sources, dependencies, system, and interfaces of the requirement. A requirement traceability table is also placed at the end of the software requirement specification. So we have came to the summary. Requirement engineering tasks are conducted to establish a solid foundation of a design and construction. Requirements engineering occur during the communication and modeling activities that have been defined for the generic software process. Seven distinct requirements engineering function is inception, elicitation, elaboration, negotiation, specification, validation, and requirements management are conducted by the members of software team. So we have came to the end of our class. So I hope you enjoy the class. Thank you.